Hey guys, welcome back to Dare to Grow. In today's episode, I want to focus on something really important that most entrepreneurs are ignoring, and it is the difference between marketing and selling. And I want to put your attention and your focus on actual sales activities to grow your business. Let's go. All right, little context for this. I work with lots of different people in these programs, Expansion Edge, one-to-one, pre-X Business School, and when I hear that people aren't selling and they're not making sales, my first question to them is, in your week and in your month, what percentage of your time are you focused on actual sales activities? And they say to me, well, Lisa, I'm doing really well. I'm posting on social media. I'm emailing my mailing list. I'm making videos. I'm showing up. I just put my sales page together. And I say, brilliant, really good, love all of that, necessary, and it helps grow your brand and all that good stuff. But none of those things are sales activities. None of those things will lead to sales in any sensible or scalable way. Now, you might be fighting with me on this already, or you might be thinking, wow, she's right. Posting a reel does not lead to a sale. Of course, when you extend your reach and you grow your business and you build a bigger community, there is more opportunity for one-to-ones to come in, or inquiries or DMs or emails, people find out who you are. But the best and most sustainable way to grow your business is to actually build a sales process that opens up sales conversations. So I'm going to give you some examples of what actual sales activities are, and I want you to bring into focus sales activities on a daily basis. Every day, ask yourself, did I do something that was classed as a sales activity today? If not, why not? Why am I avoiding it? The only way you're going to grow your business is if you bring more focus to sales in addition to the work you do on marketing. All right, so the way we're going to do this is I'm going to give you some ideas for what a sales activity is, and then try and give you an example of it and give you context for it. And I'm going to try and show lots of different activities. So depending on what sector you're in or what line of work you're in, there should be something here that will prompt you, okay? So first example of a sales activity, saying I've built a sales page is good, but it's not a sales activity. The sales activity would be, I built the sales page and I emailed my list of 300 people, 2,000 people, and I said, guys, I've got this incredible new offer. Here's the link. If anyone's interested in working with me one-to-one or in this group coaching program or whatever, you're going to find a form you can fill in to book a discovery call with me. I've got room for 3 more clients this month or this quarter. Click the link, find out more. I'd love to have a chat with you. Can you see how, oh, I built my sales page, I put my sales page live, not a sales activity. It's necessary, it's part of the process, but the sales activity was emailing 300, 500, 2,000 prospective clients, people who are on your mailing list, they're interested in what you do, and saying to them, I have this offer, here's what it is, this is your opportunity to book a discovery call with me or find out more. That's the sales activity. Another example would be, if you're running a course or some kind of group coaching program, saying that you've created a webinar and you've put the link live, or you've got an idea for a webinar, not a sales activity, all part of the process. But the sales activity would be creating the page with the compelling message, the clear outcomes, like what you're going to get when you join this webinar, picking a date. Literally, if you have got a webinar in mind, I don't know why I do that. If you've got a webinar in mind, have you picked a date for it? Is the page live on your website, and have you announced it? You need to be setting yourself a target of getting 30 people signed up to the webinar, 50 people, 80 people. That's the sales activity. Then when people sign up to the webinar, emailing them to remind them, 2 days to go, we're going to cover XYZ, 1 day to go, here's a question to be thinking about, running the webinar, and crucially, making a pitch at the end. Now, if you've heard me talk about the split freebie approach, when you're running webinars, I have absolutely no hesitation at the start of my webinars in saying, guys, I'm so excited you're here. I'm going to teach you this split freebie approach, XYZ. And at the end of the webinar, if you'd like to find out how I teach this, I'm going to tell you all about pre-X Business School, and you can stick around, ask me questions. I'd love to answer them for you. Let's get into the content. And by the way, if you're interested, I love doing this. If you're interested in pre-X Business School and you want to check out that exact webinar I'm talking about, explaining this split freebie approach, look below this video or podcast episode and you're going to find a link to it, or go over to Dare to Grow UK on Instagram, click in my bio. There's definitely going to be a link to a live webinar coming up on this topic, all right? I'm laughing and saying I love doing this because that's a sales activity. That is a sales activity. This video, marketing, it's building trust, it's sharing content, it's creating content I can use to extend my reach on social media. Won't grow my business. Won't grow my business. What will grow my business is if one or two of you think, oh, I like what she's saying, this sounds valid, I trust her, I believe her, I like the way she comes across, I think I'll sign up to that webinar. And you join the webinar. That's the sales activity. Do you see? Another sales activity is writing ads and then actually putting them live, right? The amount of times I've worked with people and they've said, oh yeah, like I'm building my funnel, my sales page is ready, I'm thinking about this webinar, and I say, brilliant, when are you gonna get your next 100 people through that funnel? Huh? What? What? So my challenge to people who work with me in Pre-X Business School and Expansion Edge, I'm smiling because there's a reason I keep mentioning my programs. I want to educate the people who follow me on how they can work with me. Not a sales activity. It's marketing, it's branding, it's building that familiarity. You'll see me do more sales activities as we go through this video. So what I say to people who work with me in those amazing programs is, I want to see your funnel live and I want to see ads running and I want to know the results of the first 100 people. So write an ad, put it live, test it on Instagram or Facebook or YouTube, whatever platform you're using, get 100 signups and assess what were those signups like? Where did they come from? Which ad performed the best? How many emails did they open? What was the click-through rate like to the webinar? How many people signed up to the webinar? How many people who signed up actually joined the webinar? How many people who joined the webinar actually then followed up and bought your program or followed up for a discovery call? Running ads is a sales activity because it's not a case of putting content out there like a reel or something or educational content and boosting it, marketing. Running an ad in the way that I teach it is running it to a freebie, to an opt-in, a mini version of the bigger thing that you sell. It's getting people off social media and into a funnel so that you can begin the journey of educating them on your offer and helping them decide, are you the right person for them? Is this the right time for them? Is this the right program for them? So writing ads and getting them live and then getting 100 people to opt in and doing what it takes to figure that out and then assessing how that worked and looking at the results and tweaking and going back, great sales activity. Another sales activity is if you're running a business and you reach a month where you're like, oh, things feel a little bit dry this month, or I definitely have capacity for more work. If you've been in business a few years, I bet if I challenged you, you could list 3, possibly even 5 people who've worked with you in the past who you haven't had contact with in a while that you could reach out to and open a sales conversation with. So for example, let's say you coached somebody and the contract ended 6 months ago and you did great work with them and they got great value and you got on really well. I think that's an important quality for me and the client. You got to actually get on with the people you work with. If you message them 6 months later and say, hey, I was just thinking of you today and the amazing stuff that you did, I've been on your social, I love what you're doing here, have you thought about X? And then as you get into conversation with them and you're seeking to add value and you're seeking to understand where they are, actually taking the chance to say, you know, would you be interested in going for lunch and seeing if there's more work we can do together? Have you thought about X? I've got this amazing new program, or I'm thinking of putting together this different variation of the thing that I did. Is this something you're interested in? No worries if not, but you're the first person I thought of. If you emailed or reached out to or contacted 5 or 6 ex-clients like that you did photography for in the past, that you coached before in the past, that you did marketing or PR for, there's an opportunity there, isn't it? That is a sales activity, and that would get a big tick in the box for actually doing things that are going to grow your business. Another one that people who run online businesses seem to hate and have a severe allergy to, but I love, I don't know why people hate this. This is a sales activity, not networking. For me, that's brand and reach and relationships, and it all leads somewhere. But a sales activity is structured networking. So what I mean by that is actually joining a networking group where you turn up at a set time every single week, and you turn up and you stand up and you do your 60 seconds and you help, 20 or 30 new people who are building relationships in a small community. They're committed to everyone growing each other's business. You turn up and you educate them on who you are and what you do. And you say, guys, I'm looking for people who, or I'm looking for one-to-one clients that want to, and helping other people understand what you do so they go out in the world, and if they think of anybody or find somebody or come across somebody, they say, oh, I know you should go and speak to Lisa. She does XYZ. I follow her on social. I see her every week. Yeah, she's definitely trustworthy. I was just talking to Matt about this before we went live. Nearly all of my one-to-one clients come from recommendations. I just got an inquiry today where somebody messaged and said, Lisa, I'm curious about working with you in your one-to-one offer. It was XYZ who recommended you. Somebody who I hadn't seen for nearly 3 years, but she remembered me from the time we spent together and thought that's who you need to follow. Has all of the stuff I've shared on social media helped maintain that reputation? Yes. Has all of the stuff I've shared about what I'm doing in the world and the offers I have helped them to recommend me at this time? Yes. So all of that marketing work is valid, but the sales activity was meeting that person in the first place. A sales activity is actually turning up to a structured networking event, going for one-to-ones with people who have influence in your region, helping them understand what you do so that when an opportunity comes up, they think of you and they have no hesitation in recommending you. All right, that's everything I want to share with you today. The big message I want to get across to you here is that posting reels and posting YouTube videos and writing content, they're not sales activities. They're important. I wonder if I'm going to get backlash from this, I don't know. Or you're going to have a major aha moment. I realized the gap. They're not sales activities. They're great for marketing, they're great for brand, they're great for trust, they're great at generating opportunities, but the sales activity is when you actually go out with a structured offer and you give people the chance to consider it. You open up sales conversations. This is a huge focus we have in both Pre-X Business School for scaling up to your first 100, 200K online and Expansion Edge. So if you're serious about growing your business and getting more time and attention into actual sales activities, look below this video, below this episode, you're gonna find a link to the guide that I've written on how to do this. Stop faffing, start scaling, and an opportunity to join me live at a live event in the UK or in one of the next upcoming live webinars on how to do this in real life. Over and out.